Good morning, everyone. Dan Bates, President and CEO, Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, and we are glad you could join us this morning for coffee and conversation. So this morning, we're going to learn about marketing and Canva and all kinds of things you need to know. So from Jason Michael Miller on our own staff, and we'll be getting to that in just a minute. So this is the protocol. We are on a Zoom meeting. I'm sure that Jason won't mind if you interrupt him to ask questions. If you are on Facebook Live, which is usually our largest audience, type your question in and Tiffany or Laura or somebody will repeat it to Jason to get your question answered. So you know who I am, you know what the format's going to be. So now we're going to do self-introductions. And who is that? Is that you, Laura, doing self-introductions?
I can do them.
Okay, Tiffany's going to do self-introduction. So, Tiffany, start with yourself and then get everybody introduced.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tiffany Grubb, Director of Marketing for the Greater Hamilton Chamber. I'm just going to go around my screen. So, Patrick Wright, we'll start with you. Oh, you're muted.
There we go.
There
Wouldn't
you go.
unmute for a minute. Good morning, everybody. Patrick Wright with ServPro. Happy to be here and learning a lot. Thank you.
All right, Grace.
My name is Grace Deaton, and I'm from Inspiration Studios. I'm the Development and Marketing Manager, and I'm excited to learn today.
Thanks for being here. Nancy.
Good morning. I'm Nancy O'Neill with the Greater Hamilton Chamber.
And Laura.
Good morning. I'm Laura Merrill with the Greater Hamilton Chamber.
All right. And Jason, you're last, so we'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jason Michael Miller. I am the Director of Membership and Engagement with the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, and I'm so excited that you guys are letting us do this today. So thank you. So today we're going to be talking about how to Canva Pro like a Canva Pro. So that's kind of a little bit of a play on words because Canva, there is a basic free option, and then there's also a pro option. So we're going to show you how to be a pro of the pro option. I kind of went back and forth of how many parts to kind of do this in. So what I would like to do today is kind of show some basics just to get maybe like a social media post up. And then I would like to do another part maybe a week or two later to kind of show the other options because Canva is kind of like Pandora's box, let me just tell you. So a little bit about me, I do a little bit of freelance graphic design, and I was kind of anti-Canva for a lot of years. However, I will say that Canva has really upped their game over the course of the past few years. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of show you what Canva is about. And I'm going to stop on each slide to ask if everyone's kind of good, if you have any questions. Okay, so we're going to make it a little bit interactive. Also, as Tiffany is here, our marketing director, I know she's kind of got some tips and tricks and things to keep in mind as well. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see here. Tell me if you guys can see this. All right, can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes, you might need to go full view.
Perfect.
All right. Okay. Yep.
All right, so on the right side of the screen, you're going to see my Canva presentation. On the left side, you're going to see an active Canva application so you can kind of see what I'm doing today. So a few things that we're going to be kind of going over today, we're going to show you how to, we're going to navigate Canva, show you how to use all of the tools. We're going to show you the design features, so all of the elements of text and image exporting and presenting. And then I think next time we will do the additional tools because I don't know if there's enough time today. But my goal for the day is to equip small business owners and professionals with tips and tricks and practical skills to navigate and use Canva Pro like a Canva Pro, like I said. So the agenda today, we're going to be creating a social media post, and we'll go a little bit over creating a presentation in Canva. So Let's see here. So first and foremost, before we get started, what is Canva? Has anyone used Canva before? If you guys can raise your hand. I can't really see my Zoom.
I did not see any hands go up.
Okay, so no one has used Canva before. All right, so what is Canva? Well, simply put, Canva is a design platform. Now, keep in mind, this is not to replace graphic designers or design agencies. So I want to make that very, very clear. But Canva is a design platform. So you can create layouts, graphics, marketing materials, and it's meant to make design easier and more efficient. So if there is a small business that doesn't have a budget for to hire a graphic designer at that time, it's a great way to get your business off the ground and create beautiful graphics because let's be honest, people do judge a book by its cover, right? So that's something that I think a lot of business owners need to understand. I see a lot of business owners posting social media graphics that look like it's clip art from the 80s. What would make someone want to trust their business if the graphics look really cheap, right? So Canva is here to help you with that. What's the big deal about Canva? When I talk about Canva, like I said, it's a design platform. However, I always describe it as kind of like a mix between PowerPoint meets Adobe Illustrator meets Photoshop. It's really cool. Everything's kind of all in one. It's user-friendly, so you don't have to have any kind of previous training or knowledge. It's accessible for beginners and also professionals alike. So if you are a designer or if you have no design experience, Canva is kind of here to help both of you guys. Keep in mind, Canva has recently integrated AI technology, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later. Canva is easy to edit, it's easy to share, and easy to collaborate with other people as well. And like I said before, this is great for small businesses with no or low budget. A lot of people had kind of asked me what the credibility of Canva is because Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop and Creative Cloud have been kind of like the leading brand and platform for designers. But a lot of businesses I'm finding are going to Canva because it is so intuitive. So Adobe better step its game up, I think. And just a reminder, Canva should not replace graphic designers. If you can commission artists and designers and you can afford that in the budget, pay people. Consider college students who are in design schools who are getting their foot in the door. Even if it's a smaller budget and you can hire an intern, consider going that route first. And you can still use Canva as well, but keep that in mind. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is kind of like a SWOT analysis about Canva. As I'm talking about it, I kind of want to dissect the strengths and weaknesses to kind of help you identify if Canva is right for you. So a SWOT analysis is talking about the strengths and weaknesses, opportunities, and also threats. So a few strengths about Canva is, again, it's easy to navigate. It's got an efficient workflow. It's a user-friendly interface, and it's very easy to find documents very quickly. If you were to look at my desk sometimes through the workday, you can't find the papers. But if you're in Canva or like a Google Docs, and you're like, where did I put this document? You can type in a few keywords and it'll pop up for you. So it's kind of nice that way. It's kind of like a nice little organized chaos. Next, for the weaknesses of Canva, keep in mind, Canva is not as precise as Adobe products. It's still great, but it's not as precise. It's not as robust as Microsoft. And it also has limited design capabilities. And it's also very dependent on the resources that are preloaded into, oh, do I admit them in, I guess?
I got it.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. So to fold you in, we're talking about Canva today, and Canva is a design platform for layout and marketing. So keep that in mind. And like I've said before, it should not replace graphic designers, but it can work with. As I was saying, Canva is dependent on the resources that are preloaded into the platform. So it's not, it can't really do much beyond that. But having said that, there's a lot you can do with Canva. Next, we're going to talk about the opportunities with Canva. Again, no skill required, no knowledge needed, AI assistance and integrations, and it's easy to collaborate, and it is low to no cost. Now, a few threats with Canva is some people think it's threatening marketing jobs or graphic designers. That's not the case because a designer has went to school to understand visual hierarchy and ways to make a visual impact in marketing. So kind of keep that in mind. How's everyone doing so far? Good? Okay, cool. So first, we're going to navigate the home dashboard. So when you log into Canva and you're like, all right, I'm ready to start making a design, I'm going to minimize my presentation right now and go right to the Canva platform. So on the left where you see my mouse, this is the home dashboard. When you log in, you're going to see 5 things. You're going to see the sidebar right over here. The sidebar, you can access your projects. You can access pre-made templates. If you don't have time to design something and you just need a quick template, they've got templates pre-built, and you can kind of search those type of templates as well. We also have a brand kit. So with the brand kit, that means that you can store your logo. You can store all of your marketed materials and elements in this kit, so you can always use them for any design. So you don't have to search and upload. It's already there, right? We also have an apps option. The apps option, we're not really going to be touching too much on today. That is something I would like to do for a later day. Moving on in the navigation of the home dashboard, we also have the Create a Design button. This purple button right here is where you get started. We'll talk about that a little bit later. You can select pre-sized projects. So if you want to do a poster, it's got that sizing. If you want to do a social media post like Instagram, it's already got those dimensions already preloaded. So you can do a custom design dimension, or you can do a preset. The next thing, number 3, we're going to go to recent designs. So recent designs is all of the things that you have been working on. Right now, we've got my Canva presentation we're working on. I like how it kind of flips through the pages so you can see, is this the right document? I was doing social media for a company in Dayton. I've even put our welcome packet in here that I put together with new members. So that is the recent designs kind of overview, so you can see all the projects you've been working on. And remember how I was saying, how can I find that one project? Well, let's say I'm like, I know I did a translation for the Hispanic Festival. So let me see if I can put translation. And these are the first 2 things that pop up. So those were 2 projects that I was working on, and I don't have to sift through all of the projects. I just typed in that keyword that is embedded in that document. The next thing that we're going to look over is the trash. Keep in mind, the trash is very crucial. Sometimes we're so quick to kind of clean the space that we start deleting projects left and right. And then we're like, oh gosh, where was that one project? Keep things in your trash for at least a month. So you can kind of see, I actually did not want to delete that. So keep things in your trash. Yeah, so then I'm going to go on to the next page. All right. So next is our project workspace. So if I were to create a design, I clicked that purple button, and it gives you a lot of options right over here. It's a little overwhelming, but I know I want to make a social media post on Instagram. The first thing that pops up right here is an Instagram post. It's 1080 by 1080 pixels. I know that's the proper dimension, so I'm going to click that. And this is taking us to our project workspace. So as you can see, it looks very similar to my presentation slide on the right. So to navigate the project workspace, you'll see the hamburger menu on the upper left-hand corner. The hamburger menu, it looks like 3 horizontal lines stacked on top of each other. That is called a hamburger menu. That is legit industry lingo. You're going to click that, and that's going to kind of take you back to home without going back to the home page. So you can create another design if you wanted to work on a recent design. That way you don't have to go all the way back to home. We're going to click out of that. The next thing is our side panel, which is kind of like the design toolkit. the side panels right here. This is what you're going to be working on when you are in the project workspace. And we're going to be talking about each of these elements in the design toolkit, right? After that, you'll see this big square right here. This is called your canvas. This is what you are working on. This is what the space that you have to create your design. It's called the canvas or the project. Keep in mind, you can always add a page if you're like, ooh, I like this design, but I want to duplicate it and try something different. You can always come up here to duplicate. You can add another page. And what you're going to see is, and this is kind of leading me into my next topic, the overview of your project. So you have the main canvas that we're working from, and you can see that I've now got 2 pages. And I'm going to put in a little bit of a shape so you can kind of see the difference of each page. Let's say I put a square on the first page, a circle on the second page. I now have my main canvas at the top, and at the bottom, I have my overview of all the pages in my project. So we can change from the thumbnail view, which is what we're now, we're viewing the thumbnails. And from the thumbnail view, you can duplicate pages, you can delete pages, you can hide pages. You can also reorder pages. Let's say if I want the circle to be the first page, I can click this, hello. I can click this page and reorder it to the first page. So I want the circle to be first, right? Does anyone have any questions so far? No? Okay. So in the project workspace, we've already gone over the hamburger menu. We're going over the side menu right now. We've talked about the canvas, i.e. your project. We've also talked about the overview. We've got thumbnail pages. We've also got a grid view, so I can see all of the pages in one big format. And then we also have the scroll view. The scroll view is basically like scrolling with a book. So I can literally scroll down and see the pages this way. So there's a few different options to kind of help your workflow. And the next thing, the last thing on the project workspace is the edits toolbar, which is very different from the side toolbar on the left. The edits toolbar, if you click on it on an element, this pop-up menu will pop up, which will give you more options. So you can work with text styles here. You can work with animating objects. You can work with positioning things. So you've got 2 different toolbars that you're going to be working with. So just to clarify, we've got the design toolkit on the left and the editing toolbar on the top that kind of pops up. All right, is everyone good so far? All right, so this next part, we're going to be talking about the design features. So we're going to be doing a deeper dive. We're going to be going over that side toolbar and the editing menu. We're going to be talking about text and image elements to create your social media post. We're going to be talking about exporting and also saving. So saving that document in any kind of file format that you might need for print or web. Keep in mind, those file formats are going to be different from print to web. Web typically uses a PNG file, maybe a JPEG file. Typically for print, you're going to be doing like a PDF or maybe a JPEG. We're also going to be going over sharing and presenting your work as well, which is the process that I use to create this presentation. So I think in order to understand all of the elements, we're going to create a project together. When I was talking to Tiffany Grubb about this project, she mentioned, well, why don't you create something on the fly with people so they can see how the tools are utilized? And I think that was such a brilliant addition to the presentation. So we're going to be creating a project, and our task is going to be creating a social media post. So remember, I'm actually going to exit out of this, and I'm going to start from scratch again. So when we want to create a design, we go back to the home page, click that purple button, create a design. And remember, it's going to say, hey, what kind of project do you want to create? Do you want to do a customized size? Nope. I want to do an Instagram post that's 1080 by 1080. It's the perfect dimension. You don't have to resize it, and your work will be displayed from concept to displayed when you launch it online. So it's not going to hinder that design. So let's click Instagram post. Again, it takes us to that perfect square. So in our task, our requirement is we're going to create an Instagram post for a fall sale at a fake business called Jason's Jams. Thank you, Tiffany Grubb, for this name. Jason's Jams, which is a vintage record store. So first thing we got to do, we got to create a new design. We've already opened that template. We've created the new design canvas for that sizing. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to find the Instagram post size, which we've already done. And now we're going to start using that side panel, the toolkit panel. So let's say we're pressed for time. We're like, I got to get some kind of social media post up. I don't have time to do all the designing and thinking about where things should go, how big this font should be, where this circle should go. I want to see if there is remember I said there is a design template option with templates that are already created. So we're going to tap into that first. All right. So on the design tab, I'm going to look for the words fall and sale and music because that's what I want the post to look like. I'm not going to put a beach if it's a fall sale, right? If it's a fall sale for music. So let's put in some keywords. I'm going to do fall sale. And it's going to give me all of these pre-designed templates. I'm actually really impressed with a lot of these. I kind of like this one. I'm going to go with this one right here. So it already says fall sale, so I know that I don't have to edit that. But it's also lacking a lot of music, and I want it to show that it's a music store. So let's go back to the Elements toolbar. And let's type in record. Oh, vinyl record. Perfect. It's going to give me all of these options. So in the Elements tool, that could be anything from graphics to photos to videos, literally to audio. I'm going to use these graphics. So it's given me a few albums, but I kind of want to expand and see what else they have.
Hey, Jason, can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out, if you see on these graphics the little crown, that means that those are pro elements. So you can only use those if you have the pro account. All the other ones that don't have the little crown, those are free with the basic membership.
Yes. And honestly, I think the reason why we chose to talk about Canva Pro today was there are so many options. I mean, I feel like the options are kind of unlimited with the Pro version. Sometimes if you did not have the Pro account, as Tiffany was talking about these crowns, I'm only seeing 1, 2, 3. I'm only seeing like 3 or 4 images that are not part of the Pro package. So being Pro, you're getting all of these options, which I think can kind of hold you back if you're not part of the Pro platform. So already we've used the design option where we've got templates and we've also got styles that AI has created as well. We are now in the elements. So I've opted to use a vinyl album. I kind of want to get some more music things in here. So let's say I'm going to search for music notes. I think that'll let people know that this is a music. Let's see here. I'm going to use this one right here. Maybe put some over here. Put some over here. We want people to know that this is a music sale for fall. All right. So we've done the design tool option. We've done the elements. Now, what is the next thing? Let's see here. In this presentation, I've opted to skip the text option because we're going to touch on that a little bit later. The text option, there are a lot of different options, you're going to be overwhelmed. So I'm going to do that a little bit later. We're going to jump down to the brand toolkit. Remember I was saying if you had your logo uploaded, if you had your company colors uploaded, let's say you paid a graphic designer to come up with a color palette for you that no one else will have. Think of that Starbucks green. No one has that Starbucks green. It's iconic. It's recognizable. So if you have a specific color palette that no one has, you'll have that right here. So you always have access to that, to those colors. Let's say there's specific fonts that you use and you don't want to have to search through hundreds of fonts. You can keep your fonts right here. So you can keep all of these things that keep your brand on point and recognizable. The next thing we're going to do is the uploads. So the uploads is just what it sounds like. It's images that have been uploaded. There's a few ways to get images into your Canvas. You can upload them from your computer or videos, or you can Google search something, drag and drop, or you can copy and paste. So that's kind of pretty self-explanatory. The next option in the presentation is draw. Now, I think that this is a new option I had not really ventured out with before. It's kind of like your simple draw option that you'll have like an iPad or tablet. If I were to use this marker and I were to draw maybe some squiggle lines. I don't know why you would have squiggle lines in a fall sale poster, but just showing you can draw with that. I'm going to actually delete those. You can also highlight options as well. Let's say I want people to know this is a sale. I'm going to highlight this. Let's say that you had a document that you wanted to highlight. It's online. You don't want to print it out because you don't have a highlighter. You can highlight it right in Canva. You can upload it to Canva, highlight it so everything's highlighted. And then you can also delete it as well. All right. So just now we've gone over the brand toolkit, uploads, and draw. We're going to move on in the presentation. How is everyone doing so far?
Good. Jason, can you click on the record
Yeah.
and show them how you can change a color of something? So you can pick an item, but if you want it to coordinate with your brand colors,
Tiffany, I'm gonna change the music notes because the image of the album or the vinyl record is not customizable.
okay, yep, go ahead and do that.
So if I wanted to change the colors, let's say I wanted to make these all red. You can click on an image, click on it right here. Remember that pop-up menu that pops up? The edit menu? You're going to click on the image. Sorry. Right here is a color picker where you can change the colors. Let's say I want this one to be green. And if you look kind of midway through this color dashboard, you can see that it pulls from the colors that are already in your composition. So you're not having to recreate colors. So you're keeping it consistent, because sometimes if you have too many colors, it can get a little jumbled, right? Let's say I want these music notes to match the green of the record. Perfect. There's not a lot of high contrast, but we're just kind of showing you for the purpose of the presentation. Tiffany, thank you for that. All right. Now, one thing I did want to show you while we are in the topic of uploads, I wanted to show you how you can also edit an image and how you can also remove the background. Removing the background is one of, I think, the biggest things that people need just in life if they're advertising. Let me show you what I mean by that. So let's say I've just clicked over and created a new page. Let's say I'm going to do some like a fall post for the Chamber of Commerce. And I know that I've always got to put my Chamber of Commerce logo on here. All right, so I put the Chamber of Commerce logo, and do you see the white background behind it? That's kind of taken me out a little bit. So let's say I wanted to remove the background from this logo. All I would do is I would click on this image, click, that edit menu pops up. and it says BG Remover. With the click of a button, you can remove the background, which sometimes takes forever in Photoshop to do. And it has now removed that background. And I actually, there we go, which is kind of cool. If I wanted to edit this image, let's say I wanted this logo to be all one color, like all black, and I didn't have a logo option saved, what I would do is I would click on that image, I would go to that pop-up menu at the top, see where it says edit right here. I'm going to click edit, and then let's see here. Oh, I'm going to go to adjust image right over here. So click adjust. This will let me darken a photo. It'll let me brighten it up if I wanted it to look kind of more white. I want it to be all black. So I'm going to lower the brightness on that. I'm going to up the contrast. I'm going to up the shadows. Actually, maybe I'm going to lower the shadows on this one and see how it's automatically made it all black. So that's kind of a nice option. So you can kind of edit images through Canva. You can't do any face retouching or anything like that, but it's just simple edits to your photo, and you can also remove the background. I think that will come in handy for a lot of people. I know Patrick is on here with ServePro, so let's say he's doing a social media post with ServePro, and he's got a truck that he wants to put on his social media. Well, he can't find anything online, so he takes a picture of his truck, he uploads it to Canva, and in the image he sees, oh, I've got a lot of really annoying things in the background. With the click of a button, he can click that picture of the truck, erase the background, and move that anywhere. And actually, let me show you what that would look like too. So truck. All right, so let's say I've got this red truck. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it right into my composition. All right, I do not want those mountains in the background. I'm going to click that image. That edit menu pops up. I'm going to click the background remover. And there we go. So now I can move that anywhere, really. I can put it right here by the chamber logo. So that's kind of a nice option. All right, so going back to our presentation. Now we're going to talk about text. As you can see, this is a lot of information because there's a lot of things that you can do with text. And technically, this goes into what graphic designers call typography. Typography is everything from fonts to font sizes to the space between fonts, all kinds of stuff. So we're going to talk through this really quickly. How's everyone doing so far? All right.
Any questions?
Yeah. No. Okay. Tiff, I'm relying on you because I can't see the Zoom screen.
No questions so far.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to change. Let's say I really don't like this fall font. I'm going to click on this text right here. Oh, unless, you know what? That's actually an image. That's not even font. Okay. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click text. Do I want to create a heading, a subheading, or a body text? I'm going to say I'm going to do a heading. It's going to pop up right there. I'm going to type in the word fall. Oh gosh, the pressure of spelling in front of a live audience. All right, so I've got my word fall. I'm going to delete this one because I don't like it. I'm going to situate it over sale. Now, what I can do is I can change the font size up here, or I can actually just kind of eyeball it and match it like that, right? So you can do font size to be precise, or you can kind of customize it on your own. Let's say I want to change the color. I've already got fall selected. I'm going to come up here where it says A. It's kind of a rainbow underneath it. I'm going to click that A to change the text color. And already it's asking me, hey, do you want to add a new color, or do you want to use the colors that are already in this composition to keep it consistent? I want to keep it consistent. And I kind of want fall to have a little bit of a pop, and I want them to know maybe that the chamber's part of it. So I'm going to click the orange and make it the Greater Hamilton orange. I could even click the word sail and make it Chamber of Commerce blue, right? So we've changed color. Now let's figure out what kind of font we want to use for this, because this font doesn't really say fall to me. So we're going to click this image, or click this text box, I should say. Go up here to the edit menu. See where it says Canva Sans? That is where you can access all of your fonts. So let's say I want to make this a scripted font. Yes, lowercase. Oh, it doesn't give me the option. I'm going to do a different font.
You should be able to do the, if you do the 3 of the ellipses, and it'll do the A and A. There you go.
It
Should
wasn't
do
giving me that option. Unless, well, let's see this. Maybe my all caps was on. My all caps was on. All right. So we've made it more of a scripty look. All right. So now we have changed the color of the text. We've showed you how to change the font. Remember, we click on the text, change the font right over here. You can also do things like spacing the letters out. If you click up here on the edit menu, see that arrow that goes in both directions, you can space the letters. And then you can also space the lines in between each, right? All right, so in this, we've created a text box. Did someone have a question?
Yeah, I
I
was
got
just
a
gonna,
question,
yeah,
Jason.
Yeah.
When you were moving that word fall around, I saw some different lines popping up. What were those for?
that's what I was gonna say. Can you tell them what the,
Yeah, absolutely. So Canva is really good in the sense of it wants you to align your projects. And when I say align, it wants things to kind of match up. So if I were to have a text box right here and a text box right here, and it was supposed to be saying the same thing, that's going to look weird maybe unless you're intentionally doing it. So Canva will say, do you mean that you want them to align in the same direction? So let's say, oh, do I want fall to be right smack dab in the middle of the page? I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go up here to the edit menu. And I want to position this fall. It's going to give me all of these options. I would like it to be dead center in the page. So I'm going to have it centered right here. And I'm going to have it set in the middle of the page. So middle and centered. And that should say that it is in the middle.
can
If
you also show, sorry, can you also show them if you that right there? So if you can also move it, and when you get in the center, it will tell you, it'll put a line down the center and then the line, solid line crossed.
Yeah.
Right.
So this cross is saying, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? This cross is saying,
Right
all
there.
right, it is perfectly centered from the top down to left to right. It's perfectly centered. Now, if I wanted to align it to, let's say, special offer, I wanted to align it on the left side of special offer, I'm going to move it this way, and you're going to see a line pop up. You're going to see a line pop up. You're going to see, okay, so there's a line that's popping up to sale. So we're going to align it to sale. For the intents and purpose of saving you guys time, it's aligning to sale right here. You can also align it in the center of this album. And sometimes it's a little finicky. If it gets a little finicky, that just means that you need to zoom in. When you zoom into the composition, it'll allow you to kind of acknowledge other elements that you might want to align. And you can do that by zooming in by clicking this percentage. And I think we've all seen that on documents before as well. So we want to zoom in. There we go. All right. The next thing I wanted to talk about, so we've talked about creating a text box. We've talked about selecting a font. We've talked about selecting font sizes. We've talked about aligning text. The next thing I want to talk about is spacing things evenly. This is one of my favorite life hacks in Canva. So let's say, I'm going to move this up here. Let's say I want to tell people what they can expect at this fall sale. Well, maybe there's discounted CDs. Maybe there's vintage sheet music. And let's say they're giving away a piano. So piano giveaway. All right. So I'm making it a little bit smaller so we can kind of see, moving some of the text around so it can all fit. All right. So let's say I have each of these in text boxes of their own. There's one. And you don't have to do this, but if there's two, and let's say piano giveaway. I'm making them all the same size. Let's say I want to make sure that they're spaced evenly. And let's say I don't have the time to make sure that everything's spaced. Canva will do that for you. So if I want to make sure that there's enough equal distance between each of these lines, I can click on each of them. Click, click, click. I'm going to go up here to the edit menu, click those three dots, go to position. It's going to say, how do you want this spaced evenly? Do you want to space it vertically in between them or horizontally? I want to space them vertically in between, and it's going to create the same distance between each one. So I don't have to figure that out, right? Now let's say, oh, these are not aligned. They look a little weird. Let's go back to this edit pop-up menu, go to position. We want to center them down the middle. And it's already cleaned them up. All right, does anyone have any questions on that? Nope. Okay, so the last thing that I want to show you with text is you can create text effects. So let's say I'm like, okay, I like this fall, but I kind of want it to pop a little bit. If we go and we click on text, we go into the text panel, and let's say I want it to look like it's popping off the page. All I did was I selected, or I guess typed in that word. I went to effects, and I selected what I wanted. So I could make it glow in the dark if I wanted to. So there's a lot of different ways to make your text kind of pop if you don't want it to be kind of two-dimensional. All right. Let's go on to the next page. So now let's say I like where I have things right now. And let's say that I want to download this. I want to save my work. Remember, we've got 1, 2, 3 pages in this document. Let's say we want to keep all the pages just to show people ideas or concepts. And we want to save it. We're going to go up to share at the top right-hand corner. We're going to go download. Now, this is the most important thing. What are you downloading this for? Are you downloading this to print, or are you downloading it to put online on Instagram? Instagram, right? So we want it to, let's see here. Where's that? Oh, ping. I'm looking right at it. So a ping file is technically best for any online usage. If you wanted to save this graphic and put it onto your Instagram story with no background, you'll need to save it as a ping, and you'll need to make sure that the background is transparent, right? Otherwise, you're going to have that white background behind it. If it's going to be on a white background, you can save it as a JPEG. If you wanted to save this as a PDF or print, they've got an option right here. And keep in mind, if you're saving this as a ping file for web, you can decide how big you want this file. I kind of like it a little bit bigger because I think the resolution's a little better whenever you scale it down smaller. If you start off on low resolution, on small, that means that you can't make it bigger because at this time, computers can't make up pixels to put in. You can always make smaller and looks great. But when you sometimes enlarge, it loses crystal quality, right? Does that make sense? I'm giving you guys like 2 years of college degree information. Let's see here. So we're going to save it as a ping file. I'm going to download that. And it's asking me, do I want to save all 3 of these pages? Well, what if there's only one that I liked? It's telling me right now, do you want to save the current page, page 1? Or do you want to save page 2 or page 3? I'm going to say, oh, I kind of liked page 1. I'm going to go back to that. So I'm going to click this one, select done, and download. So that is downloading to my downloads file on my computer. It's saved it right there. And there is my image. All right, so next, we're going to talk about sharing our work. So let's say you've downloaded it, you like the finished product, your boss was like, this is perfect, let's put it online, let's share it to everybody. What you can do is you can obviously share that ping file or PDF in an email, or you can share a link. Let's say you just need to get someone to view the file without writing on paper or printing or anything. What you can do is you can go to share. You can create a collaboration link so that only you can access or anyone with the link can access. And then it's going to say, hey, do you want anyone to be able to edit this? Or do you want them to only see, or do you want them to be able to comment on it, right? Oftentimes when I share my work, I typically do view only. So that way they can't edit or mess up the design that I've done. They can give me the notes, but they won't be able to compromise the integrity of what I've created. So anyone can view link, copy link, and I'll be able to paste that link in an email, and they will get this exact project. Let's see. You can also create a public view. I really like this option as well, because let's say that you're doing a presentation, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. If you want to do public view, it's going to create a public view link. And let's open that up. The public view link, it's going to allow them to scroll through everything like it's a lookbook, like it's an online publication. I think some people have actually done newsletters this way, where they will put all of their information in multiple pages and people can view the newsletter like they're reading a book, right? So I'm scrolling through each of the pages. And that's kind of a nice thing. Kind of takes it away from like an email setting and more of a personalized, intimate viewing for your guests. All right. We're going to go over present a little bit later. Okay, so does anyone have any questions so far? We've covered a lot of information.
So Jason, we do have one online question.
Yeah.
From Facebook. Can you upload your canvas anywhere?
Yes. When you say anywhere, can you upload a Canva presentation to your website? Yes. I would typically stick to ping files if you're uploading to the web. If you're wanting to attach a PDF, a multi-page PDF to an email, yes. If you're wanting to send a presentation, you can send a link to anybody. So there's ways. Did that kind of answer your question? There's ways to save any Canva project.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So next we're going to get into presenting. So we're going to create a whole new project. Now, do you guys see why I wanted to do this in multiple parts? Because there's a lot of things to this. And the items that I want to show you that will take everything to the next level will be creating charts. If you need to create graphs or charts for analytics, if you want to embed videos, if you want to translate items, which the Chamber can also do, we can translate languages, but you can translate documents so it doesn't mess up the integrity of the design. And that will have to be for another coffee and conversation because your mind will explode. But let's go ahead and let's start this presentation. So we've gone back to the home page. I want to create a design. So I'm going to click that button. I want to create a presentation, and it's the first option that shows up. So I'm going to click presentation. Again, it's the same project workspace as we had with our social media post that we created. Now, this is already popping up the design toolbar, which is saying, hey, do you want to create a template for your presentation? Actually, that would save me quite a bit of time. So this is where it kind of comes into PowerPoint. And I think I think they're kind of taking the lead on PowerPoint because PowerPoint has so many options and you almost have to Google everything to figure out what to do. So Canva's like, no, we got you. Let's say I want to create a template for, I'm going to do a presentation on new restaurants in Hamilton. So let's say I'm going to type in the word new business, maybe new business launch. All right, I'm going to scroll through some of these items. Oh, I kind of like this moody one right here. So I'm going to click this one. Is it going to give me different pages? Yes, it is. It's going to say we've got 10 pages designed in this whole style so everything can look cohesive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this first page. I'm going to click on the second page. I'm sorry. I'm going to create another page. I'm going
Hey,
to,
Jason.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We have about 5 minutes left. I just wanted to do a time check.
Ooh, okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. All right, so we're just going to create 2 pages in this presentation. So we've created the design. Let's say we've edited everything. We selected the template. We've added the text and visuals. Now we're ready to present it, right? So instead of sharing, we're going to click present. We can make this present full screen. So it's going to take up my whole screen, right? I'm going to exit out of that. We can also do presenter view. Now, presenter view is kind of nice because if I were to do this, it's going to pop up a screen and it's going to give me notes that I can add. So while I'm presenting, I'm going to have notes and talking points that I need that I don't want the audience to see, right? It's also, as you can see, it's timing me up here. So it's timing how long the presentation will go. So those are a few options. I know we can't get into too much due to timing. But now I would like to open it up to you guys. We've covered a lot, and there's still more that I want to talk about the next coffee and conversation. But let's reflect. So after today, are you more overwhelmed? Are you more inspired with Canva? Do you feel like you're more comfortable with Canva, or have you learned some new things? Ask yourself, what are you going to use Canva for? Or what are all the things that you can use Canva for? Do you guys have any questions? I don't know. So if no one has any questions, I was going to give you like a little task that you can do to take with you after today. So if you're watching this video live, if you're watching this video as we archive it on YouTube, we archive all of our coffee and conversations on YouTube so you can go back and see what we've talked about. I'm going to give you a little task. Now it's your turn to play around. So see if you can create a business card on Canva. See if you can create an email signature on Canva. You can create a presentation video. You can create 3 social media posts or 5 and make them all look cohesive with your brand kit, right? So I hope that you guys enjoy today. I hope that I have not overwhelmed you, and I hope that I've inspired you to go out and start making your businesses look pretty before you get the graphic designers that you need to hire to make everything look perfect. So no questions? I really was that thorough? Or are you guys sleeping? No. Well, I just want to say thank you so much to the Chamber of Commerce for Dan. Are you driving? Oh, he's driving while Zooming, and he's not wearing a seatbelt. Dan, we're gonna talk when you get back to the office. Um, I hope everyone enjoyed this coffee and conversation. This was a pleasure to do. I am very passionate about Canva. As a graphic designer, I love Adobe products, but Canva has made my life so much easier and more organized. So.
Yeah, and our next coffee and conversation is going to be on October 8th. And the presenter is to be announced. So we will see you all on October 8th.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.